Hi, guys. Okay, I wanted to record this episode as close to my birthday as possible. So, I'm literally going to be 27 in like 16 to 18 hours. I don't know exactly. Hold on. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 hours. I'm going to be 27. So today's episode is 27 things I've learned before 27 years old. So I actually listened to a couple of podcasts for some tidbits because I wanted to figure out what was like most common and what was like interesting because like there's so much that you learn throughout life, but what were those like important points that like you definitely need to take note of? What are the important points when you go throughout life and you say I've learned this? um and when I was listening to some of these podcasts, one of the girls was talking about her Saturn return and how she was going through it. And I know that I'm due for mine very, very soon. So I looked it up, and it's actually going to happen in 2026 for me when I am 29 years old. But obviously, I still may feel effects beforehand. Everyone knows there's like a shadow period, blah, blah, blah. But what I my girlfriend's like, who knows that? Astrology people. People who are interested in astrology. So, basically, for those who don't know, what happens during your shadow return? Think of it as almost like a stage of puberty, but instead of like your body going through changes, it's your entire life. You are basically shedding parts of your youth and you're going into like a new stage of life. That's like the best way I can describe that. So this usually happens between 27 and 30 years old, which is why I had to look it up to be like, okay, when is mine due? When is Saturn going back into the sign that I was born in, essentially, is what your Saturn return is. So I know that I'm going to learn some serious life lessons when I turn 29. And my exact date that it says that I'm supposed to shift is April 13th. So I find that interesting. So it's after I turn 29. Um, so I'm going to kind of put a little pin in that date and see what happens because I know that that's going to be something I need to focus on. But without further ado, let's not talk about astrology anymore. Let's move into the 27 things I have learned before I turn 27 tomorrow or today when I actually post it. So happy early birthday to me. Um, these are things that I personally wanted to share with you guys. These are my experiences. And again, I listened to other people's podcasts to get a grasp of what I wanted to put in this list. Because obviously, you learn so much as a young adult and going throughout life that, like, how do you narrow it down to 27 things? So, I used other people's podcasts to figure out what was really important or what I found intriguing or things that I even learned that were more recent that I'm like, oh, I like that. I need to learn more about that. So, number one, you deserve the life that you want. You have to remind yourself that you are deserving of good things and be open to receiving those good things. If you don't put yourself in the mindset of I deserve the life that I want and I deserve good things, you are going to sit in a negative mindset and you're probably not going to work towards the life that you want because you don't feel like you deserve it. That manifested for me so hard when I was in a relationship that I thought I deserved, but turns out was actually very abusive and I did not deserve that at all, but I felt that I deserved it, so I stayed in that relationship. Not saying that that's always how it goes, but I feel like we settle for what we think we deserve when we could deserve so much more. We are deserving of good things, so that is number one. Number two, change is normal. It's actually the only constant in life. Life can throw so many curveballs at you, and sometimes, even in the worst of times, I like to remind myself that nothing is permanent and that change is coming, because in the worst of times, you realize change is coming, and in the worst of times, it's not gonna be like that forever. Number three, learn to let go. This one is very, very important. Letting go of someone or something is so important because something better is meant to take its place. I did not believe that this was a thing until I let go of certain things and certain people, and I saw good things come right back. I always talk about how I got Taylor Swift tickets, right? Mind you, this was at face value. I just so happened to be in the ticket queue. I got those tickets about a week after I decided to move to Texas. I said, I don't want to live in Connecticut. I'm not happy here. And I made a decision for myself to let go of whatever life I was holding on to. And at the time, I was also trying to get over a certain girl. And I decided to let that go and say, I deserve better. I want a fresh start. I'm going to move to Texas. I know Tori is there, and that can be like a stepping stone into meeting other people and creating the life that I want. So, in order to create that life, I need to let go of past things, past versions of myself, past people, past mindsets. And I fully believe that because I fully just let go of what I needed to let go of, I kind of manifested those tickets as a positive, like almost like rewarder experience. Um, when I fully got over certain people, other people came into my life in a romantic way. Um, my girlfriend was like, "Hi." I just fully believe that once you let go of someone, whatever is better that is meant to take the place will come into your life. And you won't even realize it sometimes. Sometimes it won't even come as what you see it as. Like Larissa and I were friends. She came into my life.
You came into my life.
I did.
Something.
Yeah.
Random time to break up with my ex, right?
Random time to break up with her ex.
And then I met you.
And then she met me. I'm telling you, once you let go of what does not serve you, something better comes along to take its place because it was meant to take that place. And another thing, this might not go so much for people as it would for like situations or scenarios, but letting go is for you. It's not for the other person. So, like, let's say you have a situation or a fight and you need to let go of that fight and that situation. You are letting go for you because you deserve peace and you deserve clarity. You're not letting go for the other person. That's not helping the other person in any way, shape, or form. They have nothing to do with you. Just saying. Number four, healing is not linear. Feel your pain when it comes. Distraction makes it worse. And going back to number two, with change is the only constant in life, the bad times are not permanent. Change is to come. Positive times will also come. Healing is not linear. Everything, life comes in waves. And that's another point. That's actually my number 6. So let me skip to that. Life comes in waves. The good times and the bad times will come. They will ebb and flow as we experience life. And that's okay because change is the only constant in life. Number 5. Remember, we went from 4 to 6, so let me backtrack to 5. What is meant for you will stay. In terms of people, people will show you that they love you. They will show you that they care about you. And it will be obvious. You do not have to guess. If you feel like you are guessing if someone cares about you, they probably don't. If they are not putting in the effort and showing you that they are trying, that's all I gotta say. Just a little shrug because I feel like I have friends that are in situationships all the time and they are like, I don't know if this guy cares about me. I don't know, blah, 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 whatever the situation may be. And I'm just sitting here like, I mean, you can feel it out, you can try it out, do whatever you got to do. But if you are questioning it, if it is not an obvious yes, it's a no. If it's a maybe, it's a no. They will make it crystal clear how they feel about you and they will line their words with their actions.
Yeah, sure.
People make mistakes. I make them all the goddamn time. But, huh? Yeah, she goes, that's right. But if that person is making an obvious effort to try, power to them. You have to feel it out, but like most of the time if you see that that person is actively trying, it's because they care about you. It's because they want to keep you in their life. It's as simple as that. What is meant for you will stay. You won't ever have to guess. In terms of things will come easily to you. You'll have to put in some work, but it won't be hard work, if that makes sense. You won't have to like hold on for dear life for a person or a thing. What is meant for you will stay. If you are like feeling like you're hanging on by a thread, struggling to hold on, that's almost basically a sign saying, hey, maybe it's time to let that go, brother. Serious. Okay, so I already read number 6, so let's move to number 7. It is never too late, and I feel like music is playing in my head now. If you know the song, you know, but it's never too late to restart, to move on, to start over, whatever you feel is necessary to rebrand if you're, a part of a business or whatever. It is never too late. You can always wake up every single day of your life and start new and start fresh, however you so please. This is also a note that you need to live life on your own timeline because I feel like a lot of people struggle to compare themselves to like where other people were at. Like, oh, my mom was, at this stage of her life at this age. She was having kids at this age, whatever the case may be. But you realize that you have your own timeline. We all have unique life. Oh my god, if I could speak. We all have a unique timeline. It's our life for a reason. Simple. Number 8, stop trying to control everything. The only thing you can control is yourself, whether it be your feelings, your reactions, your emotions, etc. You need to focus on you because that is the only thing that you can control. You can't control other people. You can't control what they say, think, do, nothing. You are only in control of yourself. So stop trying to control everything. And I swear, once you stop trying to control things, it's when things fall in line for you. Just saying. Number 9. This kind of goes hand in hand with number 8, but you are not responsible for others. Just like you can't control other people, you're not responsible for them either. So if they respond or react or feel a certain way, you are not responsible for that. However, they choose to respond or react, that is not on you. And I'll go even further to say, obviously, like if you cause harm, that's like a different case scenario. But I'm saying, like, if someone lashes out at you, it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them because they are lashing out. Why? You have to dig into that, obviously. But you are not responsible for other people. You're not their mom. Just saying. Number 10, stop hyperfixating. This again kind of goes in line with number 8, but stop hyper focusing and hyper fixating on whatever's going wrong. When you divert your focus, your attention, and your emotions elsewhere, things will fall into place and will work out as they should. I already said that, but I'm reiterating it because it still holds true and it still holds power. And I feel like you have to kind of hit every line when it comes to some of these points. Number 11, focus on yourself and your goals and focus on your own lane. And what I mean by that is allow yourself to trust that external forces will set your path. Or, in other words, what is meant to be will be. Um, the reason why I say that is because a lot of people, me, this is for me, mind you, these are 27 things I've learned. I am a control freak. And the more that I reiterate these things in different forms, the more it drills into my head like, hey, girly, chill out. Another point in this is that you want to play the compassion game versus the comparison game in terms of focusing on your own lane. Look at how amazing that looks. Oh, I'm
I
so
don't think
excited.
they can see it.
They can. I showed it, I promise. Not here, but
I'm
anyway.
gonna tell you, but you didn't.
So in terms of the compassion game versus the comparison game in focusing on your own lane, what I mean by that is be compassionate with yourself and don't compare yourself to others. Because when you're like, well, they had this at this age or they have this going on for them, you're playing the comparison game and you need to be compassionate with yourself because we all run on our own timelines. Okay, I'm in a different shirt. It is hours later because I had to stop halfway through my list. But let's get back into it. Number 12. So this one, when I heard it, I cannot tell you how utterly stunned I was because the person that said this is like 21 years old. His name is Brady Michael, and it's on his podcast. Um, and I kid you not, I heard it and I was like, this one needs to be on my list because I could never put it to words. But the way he worded it was so perfect. He said, rational things require rational things, and emotional things require emotional things. So, like, rational thinking requires emotional thinking, or like rational situations require a rational response versus like an emotional situation requires an emotional response. Um, and the uh, idea that he gave um, really broke it down really well. And I don't think I could do it justice, but I'm going to try because I could not think of my own example. But essentially, he had said that an example is let's say someone invites you to a play, like your friend invites you to a play that they're a part of, and they come out and they want to know, oh my god, like you saw the play, like what do you think? And let's say it's the worst play that you've ever seen. That is your rational thought. And you could say that, absolutely. But the person that came out, your friend that asked you that question, that was an emotional question. And you're coming at it with a rational thought. And you can avoid that kind of friction by giving an emotional response instead. Like, I loved seeing you in that play. I'm so happy that you enjoyed being in that play. Something along the lines of that. I can't even do it justice, but my point is that I cannot tell you how many times there has been an emotional situation that I've responded rationally, or a rational situation that I've responded emotionally. Number 13, live an intentional life. Stop wasting your days away drinking alcohol, forgetting your weekends, waking up at like 2 p.m. Live an intentional life and be intentional about what you're doing and live in the moment as well. So, with that, journaling helps. Um, I think I've said this before, but I do a 5 minute journal in the mornings and at night. I'm not the greatest at being consistent with it, but when I do it, I feel a lot more intentional, and I want to start living my life more intentionally because I don't want to waste my days away. I don't want 3 weeks to go by and I've went out every weekend and I'm partying and drinking and wasting my money, and like, what do I have to show for it? I want to live an intentional life. Yes, if we get into a broader scheme of things, life can be really meaningless. Like, at the end of the day, life is only as meaningful as we give meaning to it. And if you don't give meaning to life, it could be nothing, but you could make life meaningful. And I want to live life intentionally. And this goes hand in hand with 14. Life is short. Do it. And what I mean by that is tell your loved ones that you love them. Call your mom. When's the last time you talked to your mom? For real. Um, and another line that goes with this is if you're scared to do something, remind yourself that life is short and not everything matters as much as you think it does. You don't need to overthink things, just do it. Life is short. Number 15, learn to love yourself. Not only does this help you gain confidence, but it helps you know your worth and not accept less than you deserve. You are enough, and you need to learn to love yourself to where you don't settle for the bare minimum. Number 16, don't be afraid to express yourself. Expression can turn into something great depending on how you let that expression out. For example, art, writing, music, right? An expression can also help you let go. Like, if you aren't afraid to cry it out and express how you're feeling and just let those emotions go, it can be a wonderful thing at times, so long as it's productive in a way. I mean, obviously, like, crying doesn't have to be productive, but if it helps aid you in the act of letting go, or, getting over something, it can be very meaningful. Number 17, be around people who make you feel safe and have a safe place for said expression in number 16. I cannot tell you how many times I've had friends where I would say something and feel automatically judged for it. I feel like even like in my workspace, I feel like I will be judged for what I say, and I don't feel like it's a safe space. And it's like, I need to make sure that when it comes to my friends and my loved ones, the ones that I choose to let into my life need to be a safe space. Number 18, setting healthy boundaries is a positive thing. I cannot tell you how many times I've had trouble setting boundaries because I thought it was a negative thing. You can be nice about setting boundaries, and it can be a positive thing for both you and them because A, you're learning how to set those boundaries and enforce them, and B, you're learning how to do it in a positive way. On the flip side, it's positive for them because they see where your boundaries are and they don't walk over them if they respect you. Number 19, trust whatever it is that you believe in. Your gut, your inner voice, your intuition, whatever you want to call it, trust it. I swear it never leads you wrong. Keep in mind that you have to differentiate your gut and your inner voice and your intuition between fear and anxiety. But I promise you, your gut does not lead you astray. Number 20, you can be multiple things. You can be strong and you can be fragile. You can be confident and you can be scared. Duality is what makes us human, and you can be both. I'm sorry, but I cannot tell you how many times I push my confidence because I'm scared of something. And then I gain that confidence somehow, miraculously. But you can be multiple things at once, and that is okay. That is the whole point of us. Duality is literally everything in humanity. Like I don't. I mean, I know sometimes you can be like you can be just straight up confident, but there is so many contradictions in life that you can be both. It exists. Number 21. True freedom is being free from what doesn't serve you slash what no longer serves you. And this is mostly about emotional freedoms. Physical freedoms are a little bit less to come by in life, but true freedom is being free from what no longer serves you. And I promise you, letting go is the first step to that. Number 22. Not everyone has the same heart or intentions as you, nor do they have the same capacity as you, whether it be the capacity to love you, the capacity to understand you. You have to realize that not everybody is the same as you, nor will they think the same as you. And that's what makes us unique, but that's what also makes us butt heads sometimes. So you have to pay attention to where you clash with someone and why, and is it fixable. Number 23, routines and schedules are your best friend. I cannot tell you how much better I feel when I am on a routine. This schedule that I have, knowing that it's going to change, is driving me insane because I know it's going to change and I don't want to implement a routine knowing that it's going to change. Like, they are my best friend and I lean on them so much, and it's like I'm waiting so that I can have a set routine. Number 24, redirect negative thoughts and emotions. They really do hold more weight than you realize. I cannot tell you how many times I've had negative thinking, and what do your therapists tell you? What do all of the clinicians, whoever you talk to, tell you? It's all in your thoughts, and they tell you to redirect them. How do you make it positive? How do you let go of the negative? Redirect them as best as you can because your mindset really does hold more weight than you think. Number 25, travel as much as you can. A, it's a good investment. B, you can learn valuable lessons. And C, it's really a good learning experience. You're going to travel to a different country, even a different state, just to explore and see what's different and see what's out there. And whether you learn different culture, way of life, it gives you perspective. And that is just priceless. Number 26, stop seeking external validation. Other people have nothing to do with your self worth, nor do their actions. Their actions are not a reflection of your self worth. Other people have nothing to do with you unless you let them. All I gotta say. Number 27. This one also, I want to give a shout out to, I believe I said, what's his name? Brady Michael. I can't remember if it's Michael Brady or Brady Michael every single time I have to look. Analyze what you need first. And he said it a little bit differently than I'm going to say it, only because this is the way that it applies in my life. But I'll give you an example first. So, before me and my girlfriend started dating, I was going through a period of depression, and like my thoughts were just really weighing on me. And this was due to an anniversary. And that's kind of all that I'll get into that subject. But she asked me what I was looking for. Am I looking for comfort, a distraction? Do I want to talk about it? Is there a solution that I can work towards? The important thing is to analyze what you need and what you're looking for, because that is going to help you solve how you're feeling and help you solve the issue if that's what you want. I know so many people, myself included, where there are times where I feel something and I literally just don't know what I need. I don't know if I want to be comforted. I don't know if I want a distraction to forget about how I'm feeling. I don't know if I want to talk about it to let it go. I don't know if I'm looking for a solution. Like, my brain is just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where to proceed from here. And most of the time, I end up sitting in that feeling to kind of really evaluate it and figure out what I want. But again, analyze what you need, because you don't realize how important it is to sit with that feeling and figure out how to proceed. There is a lot that analysis can do, and that inner self reflection can really help guide you towards what you're looking for and how to proceed. It's crazy how much when we like self reflect, how we're like, oh, that's where I wanted to go with that. You know? Maybe that didn't make any sense at all in my brain. I'm like over it today. I'm like in birthday mode already, but I guess the last thing I'll leave you guys with is I have spent a lot of time on this list. I've spent a couple hours writing it. And I'll be honest with you, I've had like the note, like the thing that I learned, and then like little tiny bullet points, if any. And this particular last one, the bullet point was um, like comfort, distraction, talk about it, find a solution, and then talk about the time with my girlfriend that I had that scenario, and that's kind of where it branched from. But when I listened to Brady say it, I was like, oh my God, like it just clicked. That is one thing that in my life I can say I've learned, not only most recently, and also I just knew about it, but applying it has changed my life so drastically. Like, to be able to analyze how I feel and what I need so that I can communicate that with who's important to me is just game changer. Anyway, I will leave it at that. I thank you guys so much for listening, and I love you, and I will see you next week on next week's episode when I am officially 27 years old, and hopefully I've got some good stuff for you. I love you guys. Bye.